Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Uh, as you can see, I'm experimenting a little bit with more natural lighting, playing around with some things on the channel. I'm definitely not gonna take too much of you guys' time with an introduction because I despise long intros myself and I like for people to just get into the concept that I'm looking for. But I did want to say thank you to everyone. I think I have close to 100 subscribers now and I am like shocked, amazed, and thrilled about that. So let's look for, in 2024, I'm definitely going to be doing more content and just bringing some exciting things to the channel. So I'm grateful to everyone who has joined so far, and please consider subscribing to me if you like my content. All right, so let's just get into it. So originally, when I planned to do this video, I was going to talk about Moschino's Toy Boy. And Toy Boy is a favorite of mine for a few years now. I would say like 3 to 4 years. And Big Beard Business actually put me onto this one. And I'm not usually someone who really likes rose centered perfumes. It feels like it's just an old lady sort of thing to me. And my two favorite rose perfumes of all time has to be Moschino Toy Boy and Balenciaga's Flora Botanica. Maybe I'll do a separate video about Flora Botanica since I'm just so passionate about it. Honestly, I am. But I was going to do a comparison of these two fragrances. I'll tell you the name of this one in a second. But I was thinking of what fragrance is really a dupe for Toy Boy. So Toy Boy really is a spicy rose fragrance. I love it. I just simply love it. I would say there's so many reviews out there. A lot of the videos that I've seen, men will review this fragrance because it's marketed to men, but it's definitely a lot of women have also done videos for this as well. A lot of women wear it. I personally love to wear it, and it to me is even something I would wear on like a date night. I love it. In the summer. It gives you this like heady, really romantic feeling. Several reviews that I read on Fragrantica, there were men reviewing it. And I love reading men's fragrance reviews because they're just very different from women's. I feel like men are a lot of times are just very more objective, right? And they are more practical in how they describe scents. But then when they get poetic, it's very like dreamy in a way. And I was reading one guy's review, it was very extensive, like paragraphs long, right? You know how people get on Fragrantica sometimes. And he said it reminds him, like Interview with the Vampire. It reminds him of like a funeral parlor or a cemetery. And he describes all of this like, there's dew on the grass and there's musk and incense and the vampire is I'm embellishing a little bit, but he's told this whole story, and I was like, I like how it smells. I don't know if I get all that, but it's really beautiful how different people too can have like different experiences with the scent and describe it in different ways. And I love reading all those kind of descriptions as well. But to keep it short and sweet, this one, whether it's the written reviews that I've read, the videos on YouTube, men describe it as like a woman magnet. It's a compliment getter. It drives women wild. Those videos you see with those kinds of titles. And I would agree with that. Like there's been times that I've been out and I'm like, oh, that guy's wearing Toy Boy. Like you can just smell it. And I also feel like too, it's unique. It's different for men. Yes, there are rose colognes that are out there for men, but this has that factor that Moschino has, where Moschino, right, like every fashion house has their thing. And like, let's say Valentino fragrances, I love those. They smell like very youthful and romantic, and there's right, they have this like an attitude, but also you feel kind of serene and feminine and pretty. Even with Uomo, there's something very like poised and graceful, beautiful about it. Moschino, to me is very fun and irreverent, and they get synthetic. Like they get down and dirty with the synthetics, um, in a really fun way. The fragrances don't necessarily seem real in a way. They're just fantastic. And I guess it goes back to that review I was just telling you guys about that I was reading on Fragrantica, where the guy is just building this whole story. It's like you can let your imagination run wild. Um, this scent, even though it's, you know, an oriental, oriental slash rose scent, there's so much to it. There is like these green elements, earthy elements. It does, I get that like damp rose feeling from it. It's just wonderful. It's a wonderful, wonderful fragrance. Now, for me wearing it as a woman, I feel like it gives me a sense of like grounding and confidence. I feel beautiful, because you do have that rose floral in this. Um, but there's something about it that's just fun. It's it's a little bit unserious, right? But it does smell sophisticated. And while a man wearing it, it's like a masculine rose scent. I feel like for a woman wearing it, oh my god, I just feel like a badass, right? Like, but a badass in a very put together, feminine, a very elegant, feminine, put together kind of way. Um, there's just a certain outfit, even like I know, you know, it's a little black bear, this bottle. And by the way, I'm so in love with this fragrance, and I'm about to tell you where you can get it for a very good price. When I was in the store, I considered buying a bottle, but I was like, I've had this sample literally like the entire time. Like I got I got Toy 2 and I got Toy Boy. So of course we can't really see into the Toy Boy, but you see the level that the Toy 2 is. As much as I love it, and these are in those little, right, these types of bottles. So I'm just putting like a dab on my wrists and so forth. As much as I love both of these fragrances, I just didn't invest in the full bottle, but I would highly recommend it. And I would also love to see what the experience is like having the atomizer versus the format that I have it in. So I may actually go back to TJ Maxx. That's where I saw it. Actually, I've seen Toy Boy at this point in TJ Maxx and Marshall's. It was not at Ross, but I've seen it in both of those stores, and I've seen it in multiple locations throughout Texas. So depending on where you live, you are very likely to find it there for about $40. And I think it's a great investment. I'm now regretting that I didn't snatch it up, but it seems like, there was a gap of time where I saw it in the store and I like went back to that same TJ Maxx and the bottles were still hanging around, and I was like, oh, maybe people don't really know about this one, or maybe, the toy fragrances are not as popular as I would think. Because I expect them to be gone, but I keep seeing them, or maybe they just have a lot of it and they're restocking it. So in that case, it's a great opportunity. Holiday season is coming up. If you're buying gifts for other people or for yourself, this is definitely a great investment. So prior to seeing Toy Boy in TJ Maxx and in Marshall's, about roughly 2 weeks ago, I started seeing it. I was going to do a video comparing or talking about what fragrance would be a dupe for Toy Boy. So I have seen I've heard this fragrance compared to, or they say that it's a refined Toy Boy and it's a Toy Boy dupe. And this is, without further ado, right, because I've shown you guys on long enough, it's Jason Wu's Velvet Rouge. It's another fantastic scent, and it is definitely, I would just describe it as like a slightly lighter and more refined Toy Boy. Also, the Toy Boy is marketed to men, and the Jason Wu is marketed to women. I didn't check the notes or read them before doing this video, but there's something very like dense floral, like a sexy floral. I definitely would say jasmine in this. But somehow when you spray it and when it develops, it's like subtle and nice, very feminine. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So even at this point where the Toy Boy has now made its way into the discount stores, the Jason Wu, for this size bottle, I paid $20 or $19.99 for it. The Toy Boy, when I checked it out, was $40. So you could save, about $20 by going with the Jason Wu. Now, as far as this one being unisex, I think because of that jasmine sense that I get from it, or let me make sure that that's jasmine because I don't want to give you guys bad information. Okay, so yes, the Jason Wu definitely has jasmine in it, and I knew that. I just had to double check. It also has crushed velvet leaves, pepper, and dewy greens. So slight difference on the notes in this one, right? But the jasmine is very potent, very strong in this. So depending on the guy, I wouldn't say it's definitely something that a man couldn't wear. But just keep that in mind. The violet and the jasmine it's going to be very different. But this one doesn't smell like too girly, even with all that jasmine, in my opinion. So also, as I was looking this up, very interesting, but I caught this in, I believe, Macy's, one of the discount stores for $19.99. And this 1 ounce bottle is currently selling for $60 on Macy's.com. It is a highly rated, much loved fragrance. This one, the Jason Wu fragrances, it's weird. I don't always pick things up. I always take for granted, just like what I've just done with Toy Boy, and I hope I don't regret it. I always say, especially when I see lots of them, or, different shopping trips, I always see these fragrances in different TJ Maxx in different areas and stuff like that. I'm like, they'll always have it. The Jason Wu can be hard to get your hands on. The original Jason Wu, took that for granted, and I really want to add that to my collection as well. So I would just say, if you see this one, grab it, especially, it's a really good deal compared to the retail price. And this is one that's, still in circulation, still being made, an amazing fragrance. I love to spray the Jason Wu just on my pillowcases at night sometimes, especially if it's like a day like this where it's kind of overcast and raining, or even those full moon nights, and it just gives you like the best dreams. I just really relax into my sleep and everything like that. Can't say enough good things about the Jason Wu. So the Moschino, definitely I would wear, for going out. I think it's appropriate definitely for men and for women. The age group for this, I would say, is like late 20s, but I could see someone, in their 50s and even 60s wearing this. It's very dynamic, very versatile. Same for the Jason Wu. It's a little bit more mature. I definitely would not put either of these fragrances on my list for someone that's, I would say under the age of 25 maybe. So, all right. So I hope you pick up one or both. If you have either, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, do you agree with my comparison? Is the Jason Wu a good dupe or a reasonably good dupe for the Moschino Toy Boy? And did you pick up Toy Boy at TJ Maxx and Marshalls? If you did, you probably got that bottle that I wanted, but finders keepers, I guess. All right, stay tuned, you guys. I'll be back with more content in just a few minutes.